Hi. Flipping out on children, hitting women and children, hitting our partners when we are triggered, even if they are males, this has become normalized. Just like when the person who is addicted to drugs and alcohol is asked why they do what they do, they either deny it, stop talking to you for shedding light on the topic, or they have a list of valid reasons to them why alcohol and drugs are helping them cope. Similarly, when we hit our children and scream at them chronically, so more than 5-10 times per week, we either deny that it's a situation or a problem because we may truly believe that that's what's the best case scenario for how we're choosing to parent, or we stop talking to the person who is shedding light on it, or we have tons of reasons why hitting our children and screaming at them is the best case scenario and why it is helping us to be the parents that we want to be. We even have reasons as to why it's helping our children, hitting them and screaming at them. Over time, we've even grown to have reasons to why it has to happen. Or I have to hit and scream at them because this is what was done with me and I turned out just fine. I turned out fine. And actually, I'm grateful for all the times that I was spanked and yelled at as a child. So, parents who are trying to stop the cycle of screaming and spanking deserve to be told that it's possible and that there are many of us out here who we're going 3, 6, 9, 12, longer than 12 months of no screaming and not putting hands on our children. It's possible and it's happening, and there are ways to strategically and methodically override the programs of hitting and spanking our children in order to release tension. Similar to alcohol and drugs, when the body-mind hits or screams someone else when it's feeling tension and stress, there is a release. But there's also this very draining feeling because hitting and screaming drains and depletes our energy. Now, for the parent who feels really excited and in love with hitting and screaming at their children and feels like that's really the best thing that they could do for their children and themselves in that moment and really believes that that is the right way for them, they might feel energized, and this content wouldn't be for them. They wouldn't feel supported by this content. But for those of us who are using the parent-child relationship to level up in our ability to be more present and to let our inner peace lead, we've experienced that hitting and screaming at our children actually drains us of our energy, which is a beautiful indicator that it's not meant for us. Because the actions that are meant for us are going to give us a lot of energy and they're going to amplify the peace in the situation. And we actually have an ability to handle situations with our children that may even seem very important or intense in such a way that we both parties, the parent and the child, leave that conversation feeling ready for life, excited, more in love with the other, more in love with life, excited even for the next opportunity to deep dive in that way with a situation, because they leave it with more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding, knowing that they're accepted unconditionally and loved by their child and their partner. There are ways, the same situations where we hit and scream at our kids are also the same situations that are inviting us and giving us an opportunity to deepen our bond with our child. But because hitting and screaming at our children and others does produce a release of tension in the body, it, just like alcohol and drugs, can be a hard habit and cycle to break. Because why would anyone stop doing something that's helping them cope, that's helping them feel a release of a buildup of tension and stress? You don't. You only let go of those patterns and habits, number one, by grace, and number two, by being so fed up with the screaming and the hitting, so fed up with the behaviors that deep down you feel you don't want to do anymore. When you become so sick and tired That's when we start to genuinely, truly start to apply things that we're learning that help to eliminate those patterns. Also, when we want peace more than the air that we breathe, more than our next breath, we want to feel more peace. It's not so much that we stop these cycles because of what it's going to do for another, right? A lot of us who have battled with any type of addiction know that it didn't really stop because of what it would do for the family member. Oh, it'll make mom feel better. Oh, it'll make this person feel better. That's not really ever the thing that gets us to shift. It's realizing, oh shit, I'm worthy of feeling peace, and I want to feel peace more than I want that next blunt. I want to feel peace more than I want that next sip of alcohol. I want to feel peace, and I want to feel peace without needing this hard drug or this alcohol. I want to feel peace without being dependent on this or that. Similarly, as parents, we tend to shift to starting to genuinely be gentle with ourselves and genuinely prioritizing our inner peace instead of releasing tension unconsciously through screaming or hitting. That tends to occur when we're like, I genuinely want to feel peace without needing my child to be different or to act different. I genuinely want to feel peace even if my child is in the back seat humming a song while I'm triggered. I genuinely want to feel peace no matter what's happening in my home or environment. So Grace, being fed up with the current cycle that we have going and our current patterns, and wanting peace more than literally anything on this planet. That is usually when we start to shift to conscious parenting, conscious living, and being our truest self, which is what the triggers in parenthood are inviting us to level up to. Because in my experience, our truest self is at peace and is very relaxed, doesn't care what other people think. Doesn't even care about what you yourself think, doesn't care about thoughts, just watches them come and go, and is just what you are. Love.